Have you ever felt like you're not good enough? Have you ever felt that your value changes depending on who you are with or what people say about you? Perhaps one day you feel confident, but then someone makes a small comment and suddenly you feel small and broken again. It is a tiring way to live, isn't it? We often look at ourselves through the eyes of others, waiting for them to give us permission to be happy or to feel worthy. But the truth is, when we let others decide our worth, we give away our power. We become like leaves in the wind, blown here and there by the opinions of the world. The good news is that your worth is not something you have to earn from others. It is something that is already inside you, quiet and strong, waiting for you to find it. Today, I want to guide you to this beautiful realization through a calm and heartwarming story. You will meet a young man named Killian, who spent his life trying to please everyone but himself. Through his struggles, his meeting with a wise mentor, and a simple but powerful lesson, you will see exactly how to stop letting others decide who you are. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. This will help grow the channel and allow us to release even more wonderful stories for you. Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village nestled between green hills and a wide blue river, there lived a young man named Killian. Killian was not a king, nor a warrior, and he was not particularly famous. He was a simple carpenter. He had strong hands and a kind heart, and he loved to create things out of wood. His village was a place where everyone knew everyone, and people talked a lot. They talked about the weather, they talked about the harvest, and mostly, they talked about each other. Killian was very talented at his work. He could make tables that stood straight for 100 years, and chairs that were comfortable to sit on for hours. But despite his skill, Killian was not a happy man. He was always anxious, always worried, and always second-guessing himself. The problem was that Killian did not know his own value. He looked into the mirrors of other people's eyes to see who he was. If someone smiled at his work, he felt good. If someone frowned, he felt terrible. The mornings in Killian's workshop were usually filled with the sound of sawing and the smell of fresh pine. But for Killian, these moments were filled with fear. As he planed a piece of wood, his mind would be racing. Will old Mr. Henderson like this table? He would think. Or will he say the legs are too thick? What if Mrs. Gable thinks the color is wrong? These thoughts paralyzed him. He would sand a table until his fingers were raw, not because it needed it, but because he was afraid someone might see a single scratch. He lived his life in a constant state of waiting for approval. If he walked down the street and a neighbor looked at him strangely, Killian would spend the rest of the day wondering what he had done wrong. Did he walk funny? Was his shirt dirty? Was he not smart enough? He felt like a puppet, and everyone in the village held a string. One person would pull a string and make him dance with joy. Another would pull a string and make him slump in sadness. Because of this, Killian never really finished anything to his own satisfaction. He would change his designs based on whoever walked into his shop that day. If a loud merchant said he liked square corners, Killian would make square corners. The next day, if a quiet artist said he liked round edges, Killian would try to change them again. His workshop was full of half-finished projects, started and stopped, because he let the voices of others confuse him. He was tired. He felt empty. He felt like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly because he was letting the waves of other people's moods push him around. One particularly gray afternoon, Killian sat on a bench outside his workshop. He was looking at a beautiful wooden box he had made. It was intricate and detailed, but he had ruined the finish because a passing traveler had told him it looked too shiny. Now the box was dull and lifeless. Killian felt a heavy weight on his chest. He wanted to cry. He felt like he was losing himself, piece by piece, to the opinions of others. Just then, Father Derek walked by. Father Derek was the old priest of the village. He was a man of gentle wisdom, with white hair and eyes that sparkled with kindness. He had lived a long life and had seen many people struggle with their own hearts. He stopped when he saw Killian looking so sad. "Killian," Father Derek said softly, "the sun is still shining, but you look like a storm cloud is over your head. What troubles you today?" Killian looked up, his eyes full of worry. "Oh, Father Derek," he sighed, "I feel lost. I work so hard, but I am never satisfied. I try to make everyone happy, but in the end, no one is happy, least of all me. I feel like I have no value unless people tell me I have value, and people change their minds so often." Father Derek nodded slowly. He sat down next to Killian and looked at the dull wooden box. "You are looking for your worth in the wrong place, my son," Father Derek said gently. "You are trying to find yourself in the reflections of others, but those reflections change like the water in the river. You need something solid. You need to know who you are when no one is watching." Killian listened, but he looked confused. "But how do I do that, Father? How do I know if my work is good if I don't ask people?" Father Derek smiled a mysterious smile. "I have a task for you, Killian. It is a simple task, but it requires your full attention. Are you willing to try?" Killian nodded eagerly. "Yes, Father. I will try anything." Father Derek reached into his deep pocket and pulled out a small, heavy object. It was a coin, but it was not a shiny new coin. It was very old, covered in dirt, grime, and dark tarnish. You could barely see the metal underneath. It looked like a simple, dirty stone. "I want you to take this coin," Father Derek instructed. "Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Take it exactly as it is. I want you to walk through the village and show it to 3 different people. First, go to the market and show it to the fruit seller. Then go to the school and show it to the children. Finally, go to the town museum and show it to the curator there. Ask each person to tell you what this object is worth. Listen to what they say, and then come back to me." Killian took the dirty coin. It felt cold and rough in his hand. He did not understand how this would help him, but he trusted Father Derek. He stood up, tucked the coin into his pocket, and walked toward the busy market. The market was loud and chaotic. People were shouting prices. Chickens were clucking and carts were rattling over the cobblestones. Killian found the fruit seller, a busy, impatient man named Marcus who was always in a hurry. Killian approached him cautiously. "Excuse me, Marcus," Killian said. "Can you tell me what this is worth?" Killian held out the dirty, tarnished coin. Marcus barely looked at it. He was busy weighing apples. He glanced at the dirty disc in Killian's hand and frowned. "Take that away," Marcus said, waving his hand. "It looks like a piece of trash. Maybe you can buy a single grape with it, or perhaps a rotten apple. It is worthless to me. Go on, don't block my customers." Killian felt a sting of disappointment. He put the coin back in his pocket. It was just as he feared. The object really was worthless. He felt his own confidence drop. If the wise priest had given him a treasure, the fruit seller would have seen it. Since the seller saw trash, Killian felt like he was holding trash. But he remembered his task. He walked to the school. The schoolyard was filled with the laughter of children playing. He saw a group of young boys and girls playing tag. He walked up to them and took out the dirty coin. "Excuse me, children," Killian said. "Can you tell me what this is worth?" The children stopped running and gathered around. They looked at the dirty coin with curiosity. One little boy picked it up and felt its weight. "It's heavy," the boy exclaimed. A little girl looked at the dirt. "We could draw a face on it," she suggested, "or use it as a token for our game." "It's worth a turn in the game," the boy shouted. "Or maybe a shiny pebble." To the children, the coin was not money, but it was a toy. It had a small value for a game, but it was still just a plaything. It was not precious. It was not important. Killian thanked them and walked away, feeling even more confused. The adults said it was trash. The children said it was a toy. He began to worry that Father Derek was playing a trick on him. Finally, Killian walked to the quiet town museum. It was a building of stone and silence, filled with ancient things. He found the curator, an older man named Mr. Vance, who was carefully dusting a glass case. Mr. Vance looked serious and knowledgeable. Killian nervously approached him. "Excuse me, sir," Killian whispered. "Father Derek sent me. He asked me to show you this. Can you tell me what it is worth?" Mr. Vance adjusted his spectacles. He put down his cloth and took the dirty coin from Killian's hand. He did not just glance at it. He looked at it closely. He took a small magnifying glass from his pocket and examined the dirt, the tarnish, and the faint edges. After a long moment, a smile spread across his face. "Remarkable," Mr. Vance said softly. "Do you know what this is?" Killian shook his head. "No, sir. It just looks like a dirty stone." Mr. Vance took a soft cloth and gently wiped away a tiny speck of dirt on the edge. A glimmer of gold shone through. "This is an ancient coin," Mr. Vance explained, his voice full of respect. "It is made of pure gold. It is a rare piece of history, perhaps 500 years old. In the condition it is worth a small fortune. And if it were cleaned and restored, it would be the pride of my collection. It is priceless." Killian stood there, stunned. "Priceless?" he asked. "But the fruit seller said it was trash, and the children said it was just a toy." "Indeed," Mr. Vance nodded, "and they were right." Killian was confused. How can they be right and you be right? It cannot be trash and priceless at the same time. Mr. Vance handed the coin back to Killian. The coin did not change, Killian. The dirt did not change. The gold did not change. What changed was the eye of the beholder. The fruit seller only looks for profit today, so he saw trash. The children only look for fun, so they saw a toy. I look for history and value, so I saw a treasure. Killian held the coin tightly. He felt the weight of it in a new way. He realized the truth. The coin had always been gold. It was always valuable. Even when the fruit seller called it trash, it was still gold. Even when the children played with it, it was still gold. Its worth did not come from the fruit seller, the children, or even the curator. Its worth came from inside itself, from what it was made of. Killian hurried back to the church, his mind racing with thoughts. He found Father Derek sitting in the same spot, waiting for him. "Father," Killian said, out of breath, "I understand. I went to the market, the school, and the museum. They all said different things, but the coin never changed." Father Derek smiled warmly. "Tell me, Killian, what was the coin?" "It was a rare gold coin," Killian answered, "worth a fortune." "And when the merchant said it was trash, did the gold vanish?" Father Derek asked. "No," Killian said. "It was still there." "And when the children played with it, did it lose its value?" "No," Killian replied. "It was still precious." Father Derek placed a hand on Killian's shoulder. "You are that coin, Killian. You are made of gold. You have talents. You have kindness. You have a heart that loves to create. That is your true nature. But sometimes you let people look at you who only see the dirt. They only see the surface. They do not know your value. And when you listen to them, you forget that you are gold." Killian felt a warm tear roll down his cheek. "I have been listening to the fruit sellers all my life," he admitted. "I have been letting people who do not know me tell me who I am." "Yes," Father Derek agreed. "And when you do that, you feel worthless. But you must remember, the people who judge you quickly are usually seeing only what is on the outside, or they are judging you based on what they need, not who you are. Do not let a person who is looking for trash tell you that you are not a treasure. Do not let a person who only wants to play tell you that you are not serious." From that day on, a change began to grow inside Killian. It was not a loud, sudden change, but a quiet, steady one. He went back to his workshop. He looked at the wooden box that he had ruined, and he smiled. He did not throw it away. Instead, he picked up his tools. He did not worry about what the traveler would say, or what the merchant would think. He asked himself, "What do I see? Is this good work?" He started to listen to his own heart. When he made a chair, he sat in it himself. If it felt sturdy and comfortable to him, he was satisfied. When he carved a design, he looked at it with his own eyes. If it looked beautiful to him, he was happy. At first, it was scary. Sometimes people still criticized him. One neighbor said his new table was too plain. In the past, Killian would have panicked and started carving flowers into the wood immediately. But this time, Killian smiled and said, "I like it plain. It shows the natural beauty of the wood." The neighbor was surprised and walked away. But Killian did not worry. He felt a strength inside that he had never felt before. He realized that his worth was not dependent on their opinions. He was Killian, the carpenter. He was a man of patience and skill. That was his gold. Over time, the village began to respect him more, not because he changed for them, but because he stood firm. People trust those who know who they are. His business grew, not because he chased every customer, but because he did his work with a calm and confident heart. He became known as a man who crafted masterpieces, because he finally took the time to craft his own life first. And so, the lesson we learn from Killian and the wise Father Derek is simple but life-changing. You are the coin. You are made of gold. Your value comes from your character, your heart, your unique talents, and your ability to love and grow. This value is constant. It does not go up and down like the stock market, and it does not change just because someone speaks a harsh word. Too often, we walk through life showing our dirty coin to the wrong people. We ask for validation from those who do not understand us, from those who are critical, or from those who simply do not care. When they say we are not good enough, we believe them. But this is a mistake. We must stop looking for our worth in the mirrors of others. Stop letting people who only see the dirt define your life. Stop letting your happiness depend on the approval of others. There will always be critics. There will always be people who misunderstand you. That is okay. Let them think what they want. You know the truth. You know what is inside. Build your life on your own standards. Ask yourself, am I proud of who I am? Am I doing my best? If the answer is yes, then you are enough. You are worthy of love, success, and peace. When you truly accept your own worth, you will stop trying to please everyone and start living the life you were meant to live. You will shine, not because others polished you, but because you let your own gold come through. Thank you so much for listening to this story today. I hope it brought a little peace to your mind and a little strength to your heart. Remember, no matter what anyone says, you are valuable, just as you are. If this story touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Leave a comment below and tell us about a time you learned to value yourself. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more stories that inspire your journey. Keep growing, keep learning, and always remember your true worth. Until next time, take care.